Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a fun, quick, and super easy makeup tutorial using all drugstore products. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the new Rimmel London Magnif-eyes Color Edition palette. Jumping right into the skin, we're going to be priming today with the L'Oreal Magic Lumi. This is the light infusing primer. It is amazing in the winter months when my skin is a little bit more dry and dull. I've also been really loving combining these two foundations. One of them I got a shade too light and one of them I got a shade too dark, and it is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation and also the CoverGirl Healthy Skin Elixir Foundation. And I'll have both of the colors that I mix together down below, but for reference I usually am an NC30 at MAC Cosmetics. These two foundations mixed together, I like to apply them with a damp beauty blender all over the skin, and I find that it gives a really nice natural finish, so not too matte and not too luminous either, so just a really nice combination. Moving right on to concealer, I love using this concealer. It is one of my favorite concealers, high-end and drugstore. It is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. I always alter different shades depending on my mood and depending on the foundation that I'm wearing, but today I am using the shade Sand, and I like to apply that right underneath the eyes, the center of the forehead, and down the bridge of my nose. Of course, if I do have any blemishes, right now I'm lucking out big time, but if I do have any blemishes, I will use this to conceal as well. It works so well. I highly recommend this to every single person on this planet. I also wanted to show you guys how fast it is to blend out this concealer. I am blending it out with my beauty sponge, and I am doing this in real time so you guys can see how quick and easy it is. It is so effortless and it works like a dream. Moving on to setting and a little bit of baking, I'm using, in my opinion, the best translucent powder that I have found so far at the drugstore, and it exploded everywhere. It was absolute chaos, powder everywhere, all over me. Anyways, this is the Hard Candy Fast and Fabulous Translucent Loose Powder. I love this stuff. It makes my skin look like porcelain. I just dip my sponge directly into the powder and place it where I would like my concealer to either last really long or set, and then I brush it away and of course sing a little song. Moving on to adding a little bit of color to the skin, I am taking the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Contour Palette. This is in the shade Deep, and I kind of wish I had the shade Medium because I think this is just a touch too dark. So I am going in very light-handed and just doing my cheekbones underneath the jawline and then bringing whatever's left over onto my temples. Lately, I have been loving just powder for highlighters, but I have been spraying my brush with setting spray. So right now I'm using the e.l.f. Active one. It's actually really amazing. It's a post-workout cool down mist, but it works really well with my powder highlighters. So today I opted for the Physicians Formula Warm Nude Brick Palette. This is such a nice one because you can mix all the shades together or use a specific range, and it looks so stunning on the skin. Moving on to blush, I wanted to use something that was a little bit more luminous. With the dry months coming around, I really wanted something that was going to stand out and look really healthy. So I'm taking my favorite blush of all time, the Milani Baked Blush. This is in the shade Luminoso. Finally, moving on to the eyes, I'm just prepping them really quickly with my favorite eyeshadow base. This is the NYX Cosmetics one in Skin Tone, and I just apply it with a brush and then blend it out with my finger gently all the way up to the brow bone. And I really like this stuff. It helps eyeshadows last all day long. And here is the palette that I was talking about. This is the Rimmel London, the new Magnif-eyes Color Edition palette. And I'm using some of the warmer shades in the middle of the palette today. So starting off with a really pretty warm toned brown and just blending that into the crease and outer V and underneath the eye just a little bit. And you can immediately see the second that I put the brush to the eye how pigmented and nice it was to blend out. I didn't have any problems blending the shade out into the crease. It worked really nicely, and it was very easy to build up that color. Next, I'm moving on, starting with a brush, going into this really pretty copper red shade, and I decided to change to my finger because the brush just wasn't doing it justice, and the finger did such a better job. So I'm just packing on that shade all over the lid and blending it out as much as I can. I find that when you do use a finger, it gives such a beautiful color payoff, especially with more foiled and metallic-y shades. I did have to go over it one time again with my finger, which was kind of annoying, but it still worked and was very pigmented and pretty. I then went in with a smaller blending brush and just took that copper shade and kind of blended it out into the crease shade so it was nice and seamless. The Deep Plum Purple shade. It is a little bit more on the matte side. I am taking that and popping it in the outer V to add a little bit of dimension. I find that the purple really went nicely with the copper and warm tone brown, so it looked stunning, and it was really easy to work with as well. Sometimes matte shadows can be really chalky and too pigmented, overly pigmented to the point where you can't blend it out very nicely. This one was just the right amount of pigmentation, and I had no problems blending that into my other shades. I just went in with a clean blending brush and just kind of ensured that there was no harsh lines in the end, but overall it was a very easy process. I decided to give the copper red shade one more try, and this time I sprayed my brush with a little bit of setting spray, and wow, it looked amazing. I'm so happy with the final way that I tried it. So the first way with a dry brush was no bueno, and then with the finger it got better, and then with the Fix Plus sprayed on the brush, it was phenomenal. So pigmented and so beautiful. You could really see how stunning the shade was. I am taking the plum shade and running it along my lower lash line and just really blending it out nicely so it kind of ties the whole look together and makes it a little bit more dramatic. And to add even more drama, I'm taking the Maybelline XGG Hadid. This is a gel liner in black, and just running that on my waterline. I know it's really gross to watch, so sorry about that, but I just wanted you to see the big difference that it makes in some looks. Moving on to mascara, I am using the Rimmel London Wonderfully Real mascara with keratin, which is very interesting. I don't think I've ever tried a mascara with keratin, but it did a phenomenal job to the point where I said, I'm gonna skip lashes today. I want to keep this really simple and really easy, so I did decide to skip lashes, which you guys know, any look you can skip lashes. You don't need lashes to complete a look. And right now I'm filling in my brows. You guys have seen this a million times, so I'm not going to go too in depth. But basically I am using a non-drugstore product, but it is still super affordable, so sorry about that. It is from BH Cosmetics. I've really been enjoying this brow pencil from them. It is in the shade dark brown, and it works really nicely. Very quick way to do your brows. And lastly, for lips, I wanted to tie everything together, the warmness, so I'm going in with a nice pretty berry shade. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Lip Paints, and this is the shade Sultry Sangria. And when I first applied it, I was like, you know what, it's just not vampy enough, it's just not doing it for me. It's a beautiful shade, but it just wasn't enough. So I decided to top it off with another L'Oreal Infallible lip paint in the shade Bewitching Bordeaux, which is a lot more deep, and I really, really liked the way that the lip turned out. The deepness, the sultriness, I really, really liked it. So once you're done your lip, this makeup tutorial is complete. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick and easy drugstore tutorial. Let me know if you have tried the Rimmel London palette. If not, let me know if you plan on trying it. I'm really enjoying it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.